camera or this, and then it's not. It's just a mindset. Like every single thing can be improved. There's no such thing as a perfect video. You know, I mean, you can go as low as you want to like the coloring, to what you're wearing, to how you speak, to how long the video is. I mean, there's nothing that you can't improve. And so like just having that mindset where you're always trying to get better, and like applying that to everything across the board, not just narrowing on this one little thing. But also with this, honestly, a lot of people are mentors, they just don't listen. So they'll ask me for advice, and like the ones who will listen, they'll take their revenue from like 30K to 400K a month, or their goal subs, or whatever it is, I can show them how to hit it. But a lot of times people ask for advice, I'll say it, and it'll be like in one ear and out the other, and like, so those are the worst.
I use this because I was studying Seinfeld recently, and I don't know if you know, Seinfeld has this daily thing. Seinfeld's now like 70 years old. He's still like in the stand-up comedy game. He's the only stand-up billionaire like ever. So he's the only comedian who's a billionaire. It's pretty crazy. And so I was like, all right, what can I learn from Seinfeld? And one of the things he did was he was like, every day for like the last 45 years, I wake up, and my first 2 hours of the day, I write. He's like, I write jokes. He's like, guess what? If you want to get good at jokes, you write jokes every day. And he's like, every day I just try to make it one better than the other. They talk about writer's block. He's like, that's nonsense. He goes, my rule is I sit down, I don't have to write. I just can't do anything else. And he's like, and then that makes me write. And I've been doing that. And he has this yellow legal pad of all the pages he ever did. And he literally laid them out on a road, and he like paved the whole road. It became like a yellow brick road, basically. Yeah. It's an incredible.
Do you know how many hours that is? 2 hours a day for 45 years? 30,000 hours, right?
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's the thing. People say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. I'm like, 10,000 hours, that's when you start. You know, percent, like that's the mindset you need with like the Rule of 100. It's not, because 10,000 hours, what is that? It's only like 8 hours a day every day for 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that crazy. But to a lot of people, you know, that's the saying, 10,000 hours and you're a master. I think it should be 100,000 hours, to be honest. I think 10's too easy.
So if Seinfeld is like locking himself in a room and saying, I can't do anything but write jokes, do you ever have to do that? Or is it just—
No, this is just what I live for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wake up, I walk in the studio, and normally this whiteboard over here, we erased it, I guess, so it wouldn't be leaked, but it'd have all the businesses, all the problems, all the bottlenecks, anything I could do to push things forward, and it's all listed out, and there'd be probably 300 or 400 things, and then we'd go through at the start of each week, and we'd just pick what needs to be done, to what should we prioritize, et cetera, et cetera. So it'd be like Feastables. It's like, you know, ethical sourcing, here's 3 things that need to be done. Here's all the major bottlenecks, so if you stepped in, you could push it forward. Content, toys, Lunchly, whatever. So that's more how I structure my days. It's like, because we just have a lot going on, and it's just like making sure what I'm working on is the most efficient thing. If there's like 10 people sitting around waiting on me to make a decision to go work, that shouldn't be a Friday thing. That should be a fucking Monday at 9:01 a.m. thing. You know what I mean? So it's very, even just figure out what I need to accomplish in a week, and then even the order of what we do is very important.
You want to do the
third one? Yeah, you want to look at it, Jimmy?
You can make anything viral.
So in your— can we talk about your weeks?
Yeah, of course, the document.
Yeah,
you did a podcast on it.
So we want to do an exercise.
Exercise is a challenge.
A challenge.
To see
if I can come up with a viral idea.
Exactly.
Okay. The problem here, I'm down for this. The ironic thing is, the only one here who will actually know if it's viral or not is me.
You're grading yourself here. Right?
I know.
It's that meme where Obama's putting the medal on himself.
Exactly. Because you guys are like, I don't think I'm going to put it in, and I'll just go no.
But here's the stipulation. Take a normal thing,
Yeah.
make it an interesting viral idea, but with a budget of $1,000. Because it's easy to say, oh, Mr. Bisbees would just put $1 million on the line. Okay, 10 grand, 10 grand.
Okay.
And you said so we gave you a
Generate random words.
You can flip through a few until you find a word
find
you want.
the actual thing. Like
all right, so to give a little context to your viewers, the thing is, like, you could spend 7 days, this is something I've said on other podcasts, I think this drives it home. I spent 7 days buried alive, right? That got hundreds of millions of views, me laying in a coffin. It's like, holy shit. Put a coffin, 10 feet underground, covered with 20,000 pounds of dirt. I'm literally in a coffin for a week. That's cool, that's viral. That was 7 days. I theoretically could have, instead of doing that, laid and just stayed in a bathtub for 7 days. No one would have gave a fuck. Like, that'd be a video, whatever. But in theory, it's the same amount of time, at least from a filming perspective. Logistically, maybe not. But in theory, both for me just laying down for 7 days. But one is super fun to done, the other no one cares about. And so that's like the power of ideas. Like, an idea, with the right idea, you can do the exact same amount of work as a different idea, but just hit the extra. So that's why I'm passionate about generating ideas. All right, so just hit create random words,
chocolate.
Well, I mean, that was easy.
Chocolate's easy.
Well, they're gonna think this is really. It said chocolate. This is a random word generator. No, bro, they're not gonna. They're gonna think this whole thing's staged. Grandmother. They gave us the word grandmother. So, what's a viral idea with a grandmother? That could be done for $10,000. I mean, bro, if you actually want like a mega banger, I would do. Completing a 100-year-old's bucket list.
Oh, so you meet a grandma.
Yeah, I'd find a grandma. I mean, if you really wanted to, I wouldn't say I would do this, but if you wanted like
Enemy stun coming in.
really ill and take her and her grandkids and do everything on their bucket list for them. Like, bro,
That's a cool idea.
Like, don't do this title, but she will die in 30 days. So I fulfilled all her wishes. That you clicked that.
That's so good. Hold on, we got to do another one. Okay, you passed the test.
I mean, bro, this is a lifestyle. I can make things.
I like the
bro.
magic.
Drawing. You want to do that one?
Yeah, drawing.
Okay, the next idea was
You're
drawing. Well, you want to protect. The first thing I thought of is for drawing is drawing the world's largest.
Concussion grenade fired.
Actually, weirdly enough, a lot of videos go viral on YouTube where people are just like customizing phones or things like that. Depends. If I'm like a really good artist, I would do like TikToks go super viral where they like find like a couple on a street and they like sketch them.
Stop them.
But they sketch them like really ugly, but they like stop really beautiful people and then they turn their artwork around. They're like, what the fuck? And those do really well. Like it'll be like a very handsome guy, but those do their face like really round and like with buck teeth. And it's always those do really well on TikTok. I've seen some get 100 million views, so that would be one way you could do drawing. I mean, even it's just if you're good enough artist, like it's not just be good and study, be good. I would like you could design like something like with kids, like artwork or something. If there's like some film you could put up over, draw it, and like do a design that they just peel off a couple days later, like that wouldn't be that expensive. That'd be cool. Like I surprised Make-A-Wish kids with.
Eyes on Sentex.
Yeah, I mean how many do you want?
When you're brainstorming, are you using it kind of by yourself? Or what's your brain like? If I said, Jimmy, you got to come up with something. What would you do to set yourself up to come up with great ideas?
Yeah, because in transparency, I have teams now, and so I'm not as like I used to do this all myself. Now I pay a lot of people to do it, and I just like work with them on the back 10%. But if you really want to come up with like great ideas, you need to surround yourself with other very creative people. I mean, I'm not gonna say their names, but I have at least 5 people that if I really needed to solve something, I would call. I fly them down. It'd be boom, 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 me in the middle, and we can solve it like creatively in terms of virality or anything like that. They're just like really, really good. Like one's good with thumbnails, one's like the smartest guy I've ever met. Titled. Another, he's just a fucking freak, and he says the craziest stuff, but it's very like inspirational. And so you need like that like shot.
Have eyes on.
We would describe him more as like a sniper. Like he's not gonna say much, but when he says it, you're like, dang, that's good. So yeah, I just have like my go-to people who are like very creative. Like, pull the best out of me. It's very important you have that. Like I think it's like his think tank.
Yeah, and they had a thing where they were like, at Pixar, they have a book called Creativity Inc.
Or creativity.
He said,
Dad always taught us to make
people
good
think,
on our
we just
debts.
come up with the best ideas right away. He goes, no, it's because the creative process is moving stuff. And so he's like, yeah, we sit there, we watch the first version, and it sucks. And we trust each other, and he's like, yeah, that kind of sucks. Here's what sucks about it. Go back.
Activate back-to-back protocol. Get your ass back to base.
We just removed all the suck, and all that's left is the good bits.
Yeah, I was just.
Do you buy that? Is that?
Yeah, I was just at Pixar at the Steve Jobs building, and I was just with some of the employees over there working and just seeing how they were doing crazy over there, which is like, you know, every day, like what they work on, they're showing very like egoless, and it was very cool to like, see the culture, how they go about it. Like, cause they, I mean, in terms of animated films, they're second to none.
Right.
I remember a couple of years ago when we talked to you, you said that coming up with ideas was still the thing that you felt like you had the most trouble handing off to anyone else. It was like the thing that you still just like excelled most at and couldn't.
I've trained so many great people at that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have enough ideas for the next 5 years, so that's not a bottleneck at all. Like, I have too many. Like, I would just start listing them off, but then the problem is everybody knows them. So.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go to the next one. All right. So that's 3 of the rules. Number 4, I'll flip this one. Cloning.
Yeah.
All right, so the backstory of this one is last year when we were doing our camper event. It's basically a room full of business people, billionaires, all whatever. And you started describing how you run your company. And you were 25 years old at the time. Now you're 26.
With
So-
these people double my age and 20 times the experience of me.
Correct. And so we're listening and we're like, so who is this guy? Well, this guy's been following you around all day. Who is this? And how do you run this? How do you train people? And you were like, you described the process of cloning. And I swear I saw like 5 billionaires make a note to themselves. So can you describe, what is your cloning principle? What does that mean?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, as a founder, because I assume a lot of your viewers run
Founders and
businesses.
investors.
Yeah, like, you're constantly having to put out fires, you're constantly having to do things. And that's a flaw. You're always going to be having to work on stuff, but you should view anytime you have to work on things as a flaw. And it's like, what's the fastest way to stop working on something? Every time you work on it, have someone on your hip and have them learn how to do it, essentially clone you to do that task. And so anytime I don't ever work alone anymore, because anytime I'm doing something, that's a problem. And like, someone should be doing this in 6 months. And so that's just like the cheat code to doing it.
And it's cloning, not training. Why?
Well, we would call, now that I have hundreds of employees now, I think we're probably closing in on 500, so it's a lot more training, but clones are more like the all-in people who are gonna like run your company one day and make and have the upside to like live with you and you know, because like someone who's making $40,000 a year, they're not gonna live with you and follow you around 15 hours a day, and
Right.
you know.
But early on, you had that. You had people literally.
Yeah, I still
like,
have people like that, but it's like that's just a small
one
subset
layer.
of it. So yeah, on the core team, yeah, 100%. It's just like, the thing is, the more you know about everything going on, the better. Because a lot of what you do in one vertical of business, in finance or in this or that, affects other parts. And so the more you understand the whole business, the more you understand the ripples you create across things, the better efficiently and better you can do these kinds of things. And so just having a clone who knows everything about the whole business, make decisions so much faster, and they can cut through red tape, and it just makes it so much easier for you to just like. It's like when you're in hyper growth scale, you don't know like what the next opportunity of the next thing is to fix, and so if you just have a couple versions of stuff, which is so nice. It's like, oh, this thing over here in editing's falling apart. All right, clone, that you followed me around for the last 3 years. You know what I would do. Just go fix it.
Every part of a company is not like, it's not like you look at a thing. Editing is people editing, right? Everything is people. And so what I liked about the way you were doing it was, I think on the outside, people hear this, they're like, follow you around all the time, live with you, that's crazy. I would, you know, that's hard. I met them, they were like, this is the greatest opportunity.
Exactly.
Like, I came here for this. I want to be
Come on,
great.
you're losing this
He's
fight.
given me the opportunity to be great. Not everybody.
You can either go to college for 3 years, or you can follow Sean around for 3 years. And then,
Grenade coming in.
like, just all the other way. The version of you that follows Sean around for 3 years will make way more money. You'll be way more experienced, way more valuable to him, or you can just go to any one of his competitors and make more than if you got a
Have you
degree
ever
with
heard
this.
the Warren Buffett cloning story?
No.
Warren Buffett wanted to learn investing, right? So he goes to the guy who wrote the book on investing, Benjamin Graham, and he's like, Mr. Graham, I'm Warren Buffett. I'm a big fan of your work. I want to work for you. I will work harder than anyone you know. And you know what? I'm willing to work for you for free because I just have as much I want to learn. And Ben Graham goes, son, your price is too high. And Warren was like surprised. And then later he's like, so what? I got so much more out of working every day at Ben Graham's head than him getting my actually the value exchange was like completely, he was correct.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me because it's so true. Like, how do you, if you want to learn, that's the best way you can learn. And as a, you know, ultimately you want judgment to fail. So it's like, if the company can think, what would Jimmy do, and get the right answer, now you got Jimmy. Right?
Yeah.
You know, like for the most
When
part, they
it's
can make
relevant.
decisions.
And then other times, it should be like, what would Jimmy do? Okay, Jimmy's not always right. In this instance, he's an idiot. Let's go call him out on it.
What will he say when I tell him what I'm actually going to do?
Yeah, and then they take you one step further, which is like my long-term thoughts. Like, okay, well, Jimmy's going to want data back. He's not going to care about an opinion, so I'm going to just go do all the research and grab the data. And then they'll ask me something else, say blah blah. I'll be like, well, what about this? Yeah, you were going to say that. And then, okay.
And by the way, it's not just you. Even other presidents. There was like a guy. He was always. Yeah, I'm the main guy in this part of the business, so I need to be training people. So this is how I'm doing it.
0 to 1 is so difficult, but then 1 to 3, you know, like it's so much easier. So that's like the hard part is like training that for like downloading or anything, like writing the videos, right? Like obviously I used to write all the videos myself. Taking all that and getting where someone else could do it without keep the essence of like what makes it powerful, what makes it good, not feeling too corporate and scripted because we're not scripted, etc. Like going from 0 to 1, that took like 5 years. But then, you know, him training that first clone is so imperative, and then they can do the rest.
That's great. You want to do the next one?
All right, sure.
Possible is possible. Fuck yeah.
Impossible is possible. All right, so this is, I asked your, I'm friends with Rohan, the guy who runs your TikTok.
Yeah.
I go, tell me the thing where you realize, like, this guy's real different. This guy thinks differently than a normal person would. And I was like, that's the story I want. He goes, I don't know how to explain it. This is the quote. Jimmy will give you an impossible mission, but he'll say it in a way that makes it seem totally possible. And then he leaves the room and you're like, God damn, this is impossible. And he goes, for example, Jimmy came to me and said, I need 10 million TikTok followers a month, Ron. And every month I told him it's impossible like 100 times. And he told me, do it 500 times. He told me to do it 500 times.
I think we had 2 months where we gained 10 million.
That's what he told me. He goes, I didn't do it those months, but I did do it like 2 months, and we got way further than we ever would have got had he not laid down like kind of this impossible gauntlet. So
Yeah.
that's one story. I'm sure there's like 1,000 of these, but like, do you live by this? I mean, how would you talk about that?
Well, I don't try to just give people KPIs that I think aren't possible just to torture them. I just like, I think most people, when you ask them to do something that's very incredibly difficult, like what I first did, I want to bury myself alive. Like people's first inclination is just, that's not possible. And technically, almost anything is possible. So it's just like, so my first thing is just like, why do you say that? Let's go through the gambit, and then they'll always be like, well, it's just not possible. And then you just have to be like, go do the fucking research. It's like, is it too expensive? Because we can figure out ways, is it too unsafe? Well, we can navigate safety or whatever it is. And so it's like, when people tell me something can't be done, just tell me the cost and like what the problems
Where
are.
the bottleneck
and,
is.
Yeah, and then if like, then let's look at those. And if that's really something that's not working. And that's fine, and then I'll kill it. But just tell me something, because like half the stuff I did, if I just listened to people and they did it, like I wanted the Eiffel Tower for a video. Not possible.
I'll say this once. Do not fuck with me.
Is that not possible? Go get the fucking Eiffel Tower. Like,
Eyes on Semtex.
until the head of the president of France tells you no, it's possible. Like, I don't.
When he says no, ask his kids. See if they have some sway
Well,
over
I have to
him.
give him while you're on the phone. Like, we just filmed a video where we had the 3 pyramids of Egypt, and we were like, you know, spending, like, we were there for 100 hours. This crazy video. We explored the pyramids. It's like my favorite video ever. And then, not the 3 pyramids. I'm like, did Egypt tell you that? Like, what do you mean? Go make some phone calls. You know what I mean? And it's just constantly, even today, when I'm not with my core group that I've trained very well, it's just always like, you can't do that, or no, or they'll go make a phone call, or okay, fine, Jimmy, we'll go try to get the pyramids. We'll go away. You can't have the pyramids.
Heads down.
Tourist guy who like works at the pyramids. I'm like, okay, call the head of tourists. I'm like, how do you get their number? Okay, well that's different. You didn't ask me how to get the number. You asked me. You just told me. Like, please don't do that again. Like, we gotta figure out what the problems
Enemies
are.
have a wild card.
And then we make a call. Figure it out. Next thing you know, and so it's just like, that's a big thing that you have to like, if you really, in my opinion, want to innovate and do things that are done before and push boundaries, you have to like have a mindset amongst your people that it's not, nothing is impossible. It's just how much does it cost, how do you do it, and then you just make an objective decision.
It seems to me like when you solve these impossible problems, you think on a lower level rather than a higher level. Have you heard the story of Elon getting his rockets from Texas to Florida where they want to?
No.
Enemy planting
The
mine.
normal
on
way
their
to get their
heels.
rockets
Hit 'em
to
hard.
Florida is on a barge, right? But it takes like 3 months. It costs a bunch of
Didn't he
money.
fly it there?
He drove it. I was like, no, we're gonna drive it instead. And they're like, well, it's way too big. Like,
First answer was,
it's impossible.
can't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, let's go. And he has a great line, which is,
Yeah.
and he's like, is it physically possible to get it to Florida? No. Okay, we agree on that. Great. Now let's continue to figure out where the bottleneck is. He's like, oh, the boat, whatever.
And so, well, it's impossible to get it through overpass. He's like,
CIA can want your proud bastard. They won't forget this.
Someone pull us out
this
so
like
we can celebrate.
extremely circuitous route all on back roads, and they're like, but even if we do that, there's still a problem with power lines. So driving rockets in holes. Yeah, and it's just like
Don't pay attention to that. That was shit.
to like
Yeah.
to beat the impossible. Do you find that's the case a lot?
Yeah, quite a bit. And a lot of it is just a willingness to, it's just people who have to love what they do, and people who really love problem solving will figure these things out. And so it's just having the right person, in the right seat at the right time who like actually wants to go deep, and like there are certain people where you give them something that seems impossible and they will be giddy. Yeah, I can't wait. Like I have people like that where I could call and be like, what's something?
They don't wake up until it's hard.
Well, it's like, I guess if I wanted a different wonder, if I was like, I want the Taj Mahal for a week, right? And they're like, people at my company, if I called and said that, like, I promise you they would smile. Be like, okay. Like, they didn't see that as a challenge. They'd go to war to figure it out. And then, not in my company, but just there are other people that you would say that. And so you just got to get the right people who just deeply enjoy solving problems and like see it as a challenge. And like there are people built that way, and those are the people that really succeed in that environment.
And even a different example that's not getting the Taj Mahal or the Eiffel Tower. One of my favorite videos of yours where the first time I was like, all right, respect. This was before I met you.
Okay.
I was like, okay, respect. Was Ben was telling me about you, and he goes, he made a video said, I'm gonna cut through this table with a plastic knife.
Oh my God. I remember this weirdly very well. I was sitting in high school, and I just like, I don't know, after lunch, I put the plastic knife in my pocket for some reason. I don't remember why. And then I just put my hand in my pocket. I was like, oh, it's a plastic knife. And then I just started like scraping against the desk, and I was like, oh wow, I'm like, kind of like, I can cut this desk in half. Like just like your stupid little high school desk. I just did this for like 5 minutes until like the teacher was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop. And then I just was like looking at the little indentation. I was doing the calculation in my head. I was like, it'd take me like 10 hours to cut through this, according to my math. And I was like, fuck it. I think that would be like a video where people would be interested. So I went to the store on the way home and I bought like 1,000 plastic, like the cheapest plastic knives I could find. And then I just got this like $20 fold-out table. And I just went in my room, hit record on the camera, and I just went it down because the plastic knives would get dull after like a minute. And I was just cutting through it. And I think that took 12 hours to cut through the table with plastic knives or something.
But that's what I'm saying. It was no money. It was no money. It wasn't Taj Mahal. It was like creativity, or well, first boredom. Boredom is the key. It was like how Einstein
But that video
discovered
did so
relativity.
well, and it's like so dumb. It's just like how many licks does it take to get to a center of physics? How many plastic knives does it take to cut a table in half? It was just like people were like, what a fucking
Did
idiot.
you do it with one, by the way? Or
No,
did you
no,
go through, like,
it's
video?
probably thousands.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. That's insane. By the way, that's a spoiler. I think that one we kind of copied number 8, which is
No.
no doesn't mean no way. And there's a big difference
Yeah.
between no
Impossible
and no way.
is possible, and no doesn't mean no. Exact same thing. Yeah.
And I like the clarification you had, which was like, you're not just like the asshole boss that's like, I need this impossible thing done. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's more like,
Cleared hot.
hey, I
Work
want to
your
do this
frag list.
impossible thing, or I want to do this great thing. No, okay, let's get curious before we just like make a decision here.
Yeah.
Why? And let's try to understand it. And if it truly is no, which it rarely is, fine.
Yeah.
But it's usually not. And the cool thing is, if you do that in a company, do it once, people are like, oh wow, that was interesting. Do it twice. The third time you do it, people are like, all right, like that's the way, right?
By
It's
the
contagious, right?
50th time.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like a religion. People start to believe when they see it, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
need your employees. For me, it's been a couple dozen times for it
well,
to
I'll
stick.
keep pointing at it. I'm like, you guys remember what we said and then what happened? Let's like,
Yeah.
let's take that and that's a rally cry for us now. Like we could do all these things, right? Let's immortalize that.
All right, we got 3 more to go.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, and honestly, because I wrote this, they're referencing my thing I wrote a couple years ago. I would update that to just say like experienced people or cheat codes, the right ones, like because it doesn't, because like my handbook, I guess that's what you would call it, leaked on Twitter, and like.
There you go.
Yeah,
There's your
yeah,
handbook.
my production Bible. So many people were like consultant, even
Delete it
consultant, even Mr.
Endorse on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I know. They're like, so many consultant tweets are like, yes, you validated our industry. And I'm like, well, it's just more like, especially with us, because we do so many random weird things. I mean, what did I say in here?
Consultants are literally cheat codes needed to make the world's largest slice of steak. Start off by calling the person who has made the previous world's largest slice of
Exactly.
steak. LOL. He's already done countless tests and can save you weeks worth of work. I really want to drill this point home because I'm a master believer in consultancy, because I've spent almost a decade of my life hyper-obsessing over YouTube. I teach a new creator how to go from 10,000 in a month. On their own, it would take them years to do it. Consults are a Christian God. Please take assigned you. Always ask yourself first if you can find a consultant to help.
Exactly, because we do so many weird different things. Like, oh, we're gonna bury me alive.
somewhere.
Well, David Blaine, he buried himself alive. You know what I mean? Like,
How's that phone call go?
they're usually like, what are we gonna do? Blaine's phone number. And I was like, okay, I'll DM him on Instagram. And I'm like, here's his phone number. Call him. Figure out how he's doing, you know?
But you do these things like one night I was just hanging out at my house, get a call, North Carolina number, pick up.
Oh yeah. It's usually, I go on walks and then I literally just flip through my contacts and I'll like stop and you know when it's on S you'll be there and I'll just like, I'll just tap on my name and it'll teach me something. Sometimes the calls are 1 minute, other times are 20. And yeah, it's like you gotta always be learning.
I think that's like the normal thing. You know, like nobody does it, right? Like that's like a.
I don't understand why. That's,
I kind of started stealing. I was like, why not? I'm also I'm obsessed with learning.
yeah.
And sometimes like maybe the mechanics of it, I was confused. I was like, so I call these people, and then I just say like, hey,
Teach me something.
sup? Well, yeah. Teach me something. What's something?
What's
that's come out
funny
of
is the more you do it, the more people will come to expect it too. So like, I'll call someone, they won't answer, and then they'll be like, "Let me guess, you're on a walk. Sorry, I'm busy." And then I'm like, "I don't answer." Yeah, but at the start, you'll go on a walk, you have conversations with 10 because you know these high caliber people are always busy, and then the other 10 will call you throughout the next 24 hours. So, but now everyone just gets it. It's
protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like,
the call.
yeah, yeah, so it's like so funny that having that and like people will answer and like sometimes I won't even say anything. They'll be like, all right, here's what I've learned. It's like great because then I just like these are people who are, you know, some of them running companies with millions of dollars a year in revenue and they're learning tons of things. They're always experimenting and then I just get this 5-minute breakup of everything they learn, suck it out of them, and then I'm like, here's what I learned. Because I always, a big part of this to go well is you have to add as much value, ideally more than what they're giving to you. And then you hang up and you go to the next one.
Another one that is in the kind of consultants art cheat codes is we do these talks at our event. So at our basketball event, it's kind of like play ball all day. So we're like dead tired.
Yep.
It's like we're hanging out. And the first year we did it, I remember because I created the event, so I was kind of the host. I don't want this to be awkward, but it was actually more awkward because nobody knew who anyone else was.
Yeah.
And you did this great thing. You like grabbed the chair, you put it in the middle of the room. You're like, hey, sit down real quick. And we go, all right, who are you? What's your story? And then they would like start to tell like a long story. What I liked was we would have questions. So like we had a real estate guy, and instead of being like, all right, teach me about real estate, which the guy doesn't know how to start, you were like, if I had $10 million, what would be the best way to turn it into 100 for real estate?
Yeah.
And then he talked for like 5 minutes. You're like, cool, got it. I should just give it to somebody like you. Makes sense. On to the next. And I was like, I love the power of kind of like the right question, the right person.
Well, and
because
honestly,
there's a
in
big-
group settings like that, another thing too is just not being afraid to cut people off. Some people are just so not aware that like there's 20 people and you've been rambling for 30 minutes, and I'm like, keep in them. And 3 of those people are on their phone. Those 2 are checked out. Those 5 are too nice to say anything. I'll be the one who's like, hey, we get it.
All right, I got this. Block out the noise. Okay, block out. You want me to block out the noise? Sure.
So, when you're small, people say you're too obsessed, you're a weirdo, get a life, be realistic. This is from you. People will try to convince you that you're out of your mind for
Sending
long
flashbang.
and then when it works, yo, you're dry, you're smart, that was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything you guys have been flattering me with throughout this podcast is the exact same thing I got low-key bullied for in high school. It's like hilarious that now these grown men are like, yo, this is fucking awesome. You're like, all in. Possible is not possible. No doesn't mean no. And you just like love this shit. And like, in high school,
Breaking out
that's what a
rocket launcher.
fucking nerd. Get a life, like loser. Yeah.
That's why you call it block at the north, right? Because the same things that people admire when you're successful are the things that people always try to tell you to stop.
If you
Yeah.
had listened, you wouldn't be Mr. Beast,
Right,
right?
I'd
Like,
be
we
like
wouldn't be here right
everyone
now.
else. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, the big takeaway it just means you're not around the right people, right? Because like, obviously, if I was around you guys when
Scout
you
pulse
were young,
activated.
I'm sure you guys would have been like, oh, let's throw together. We would, you know, maybe when we were 18, we wouldn't have had much emotional intelligence, but we would have like flocked together. So it's also just finding the right people to be around. And if you're having to block out a lot of noise, then you're just like, you have to see
It's a signal.
yeah, you really got to change who you are, because that's really it. I mean, if you're the smartest person, you're hanging around, the one with the most position, and everyone else is bringing you down. Like, your roots going through your entrepreneurial life with like a 10-pound weight strapped to your leg.
Yeah, last one. Let's go. reinvest everything.
Yes, sir.
Can I give you my version of this? I think people know you reinvest a lot of money to almost a comical extent. Like we made 100 grand last month. Great, we're investing 101 this next month. Like, yo, Jimmy, where'd you get the extra stuff?
I got the largest unscripted streaming deal in history and somehow lost a ton of money on it. yeah.
When we were here the first time,
Spring mine, sponge.
His edge is that he takes all the money he makes and he reinvests it. He takes all the hours he has and he invests it into your channel. Then he gets the best people and he like gets them to believe that they should invest in it. And he does it for everyone. Like, I don't think this guy's
Good effect, Doctor.
I don't think
That's
you
right.
can-
You still call it a kamikaze.
I was like, because what do you do? What do you do with somebody who's willing to just like plow it all back in? Like, that's not the person I would want to be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I guess that's why to me this is.
I mean, you just described it perfectly. I don't even have to say anything. Like, yeah, I mean, ideally you can find the passion that you love and you're all in, and it's, you shouldn't have to force yourself to go get up and write. It should just be what you love to do, you know?
What's the CFO telling you as you just at the beginning? Now it's kind of new, but at the beginning when you were just trying to, what was like your mom at the beginning, right?
Yeah, well, I remember in the beginning, it was me and my mom was working in high school stuff. She had 10 jobs, I was 20 jobs. I mean, now they just are, I mean, people kind of normalize your weird craziness, so they're more.
That's now. What are the